Welcome to the Warrior Way podcast, where we talk about all things Liberty Christian School. I'm your host for today, Jared Mlynczyk, Assistant Head of School, and I'm so glad you're joining us for today's show. Today is episode number 14, and we're talking leadership and valuing scholarship with our Director of Design and Innovation Center, Jamie Michalek. So with that, let's dive into today's conversation. Jamie, welcome to the podcast today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad that you're here. So we want to learn a little bit about your new role you've stepped into at Liberty, as I introduced in the title of Director of Design and Innovation Center. There's a lot there to talk about. But for those that may be new to Liberty, new families listening to this podcast, those checking out our school, tell us about your past history with Liberty Christian.
Well, I started at Liberty Christian back in 1996 at our old campus. And I have taught about every science we have on campus, as well as coached about every women's sport that we offer on campus at some point in my 26-year career here. So I was women's volleyball for a very long time. That's really my background, as I played volleyball in college. And then my degrees are biology and chemistry. And so I've taught biology to chemistry, physics, all the way down to 7th grade science. And was the head of the science department for the last 5 years.
So through all those years, you've probably seen a lot of changes in Liberty. You mentioned physically, where the school used to be located near, where it's now University of North Texas, and then now coming here to Argyle. You've probably seen some changes.
A few.
And even in your time, a couple decades plus at Liberty, now here we are in this new role for you. So in this position of Director of Design and Innovation Center, we were kind of joking before we started recording that you've been really a jack of all trades this year. I mean, you've been doing a little bit of everything.
Right.
So let's just dive into what your experience has been so far with just some of the things that you've been involved with in this new position.
Well, a lot of the really good things that administration and the board really saw in this position was the ability to expand student experience beyond our classroom. And so I've been able to help expand our dual enrollment program. I've been able to help launch an internship program with Tony King this year. I've been able to help relaunch an entrepreneurship class, which spawned the Liberty's first completely student-run business in Liberty Lattes. So those are some of the major things that I've really been able to do, as well as help coordinate some things that are going to happen this summer that are very student-centric with our summer at Liberty. So it's been really an evolving role since we don't actually have our space currently finished. But yet once the space is finished, it will continue to evolve to really just expand opportunities for kids beyond the classroom.
Yeah, and we'll dive into those spaces here in just a moment. You just rattled off a lot of great stuff just in the last few months you've been involved with. So we're going to kind of focus in on scholarship and leadership themes, which come out of some of those topics you mentioned.
Right.
Let's focus on the lattes for just a moment. That's a new thing here at Liberty. That is definitely an example of student leadership that stems out of this entrepreneurship class you're referring to. So for those that don't know, how did that come to what we see it as right now?
So our idea behind our entrepreneurship class is that every student develops and runs and makes money using their own business. Well, as a class, so we have two sections of entrepreneurship. There's 31 students that as a whole start a class business so that they have a model business to actually develop their own businesses off of. So Liberty Lattes became our own business that the school built a coffee bar within our new student union that the students then got to learn how to develop a business from the ground up as far as menu items they wanted to serve, hours they wanted to have, prices they wanted to do. So they really have had ownership of the business from day one, coming up with the logo and the name. So none of that was determined before we started this year. They did every step of it. They run the business during the day.
Wow.
They do all the inventory. They do all the expense reports for it. So we're training all of our seniors to be management for it, so they help open and close the shop every day. So it really has been some great opportunities for our 9th through 12th grade students to really see what a business looks like to truly run a business and what it means to be profitable.
Wow. I mean, yeah, we're not just talking about monopoly money here or some fake stock games or something.
No, it's real money.
So what are maybe 2 or 3 examples off the top of your head from our entrepreneurship class? You mentioned 31 students. real businesses that some of them have launched. What are a couple of examples?
We've got several students doing car wash businesses that have been pretty successful.
Excellent.
Yeah, we've got a couple that are selling products like homemade cards and jewelry. And then we've got a couple doing services like lawn mowing and picking up dog poop.
That's right.
They're making great money,
Yes.
being able to do all kinds of different things and creating their own hours and making their own money.
Love to hear that. And part of their presence, if I remember, I know some of the lessons that you've delivered to them, had them go through. This includes the whole marketing side of this, right? Some of them are launching websites. Is that right, for their businesses? And
correct. They have all developed their own websites. And actually, My Liberty is going to host their websites as a student business page coming later this semester.
That's right. So shameless plug here. Go in and buy all the things.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
all the things.
That's right. Support our entrepreneurship students at Liberty. So you touched on a phrase there. You said student union, and we'll touch on the design center in just a moment. What exactly is the student union? I know it's in its infancy in terms of being rolled out here at Liberty, but what is that space? What does that look like long term?
So the good thing is that space happens to be right in the center of our campus. And so it was not getting utilized near enough during the day, being in the center of our campus. And so the idea behind it was that students would be in that space during the day to do everything from presentations to running businesses to meeting collaboratively. So there's a lot of collaboration space in there. There's a lot of teacher-friendly space to bring projects down there and teachers to be able to utilize it. And our current study halls will start to meet down there, that they actually have an open space to kind of spread out and do some learning in there.
Excellent. The other side of this, none of the other things you're involved with in your position, but as we talk about the Innovation Center, as we're recording this right now, Liberty's already experienced some construction that's occurred in the front of the building with moving Liberty Locker. Mm-hmm. So in the space formerly known as Liberty Locker is the Innovation Center. What will that space kind of look like? I know we're in a podcast mode here, but what is that space going to look and feel like once it opens up?
So the benefit of that space is it really will be a 3-year-old through 12th grade, that it will be a space that's utilized by all students on our campus, all the way down from lower school students learning how to do interesting things like coding through Lego education, and our middle and upper school STEM students being able to have they have a full out project wood building area. They've got a complete 3D print area. There's going to be a laser cutter area in there that students will be able to come in and utilize and actually put their hands onto projects and make projects come to life. Instead of just being able to make CAD models of them, we'll have full CAD software in there that they can actually learn how to do true CAD drawings and then make them come to life in the project area.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, so with this, I know we have a couple of somewhat time-sensitive events coming up, because I hear a theme around Liberty making a move into these real-world, tangible experiences that are connecting all of our great scholarship into what people are actually doing outside of these walls.
Right.
And then you also mentioned around dual enrollment and expanding college options for our students. So let's start there on the dual enrollment side. I know we have an event coming up in January. What's going on with dual enrollment, and what do families need to know about that?
So what dual enrollment is our students actually taking college classes. Some of them will be online, and some of them will actually be hosted on our campus this next coming year.
Excellent.
And so when those students take those college classes, Liberty then also allows them to have high school credit for those classes. So because they're truly a college class through a myriad of different colleges, they end up being more transferable into whatever college of choice our kids end up going to than some of the dual credit things that we've done. We do still offer some dual credit that are true high school courses that we have partnered with some universities that allow us to also offer them college credit for those courses. So we have a little bit of both, some dual enrollment and some dual credit. On January 24th from 6 to 7, we are actually hosting a parent information meeting in the student union that will explain those differences. We'll kind of outline some of the classes that we're going to highlight, as well as allow parents to really ask questions about what those things mean.
Well, those dual enrollment and even dual credit options sound like a great opportunity for our parents. Hopefully a lot of them will learn more so about that. And especially for students looking for ways to accelerate into their college programs by knocking out some of those core classes. And maybe the other side of that too is exploring some of those things that they would like to pursue, which leads me to a question around, you mentioned the word internships. And as it's connected to the Innovation Center, I know we have an event coming up with Career Day.
Yes.
And so what are we trying to do in terms of spurring on interest with internships, with people in the industry? Tell us about that.
So what we would like to do is have our students have semester-long internships where they're exploring careers that they may be interested in pursuing in their future. And so we're pairing them up with people that are already working in that industry that are willing to mentor and teach them along the way. Sometimes we pair them up during the day, during their school day, and sometimes they do go after school and work in a certain industry that they can now gain some credit for high school. And then that will go on their high school high school transcripts, so that colleges can then see the opportunities that the students have had to actually have some real life experience in some of the things that they're pursuing. So when they're applying to honors colleges or applying to like a business school within a school, then they've already got some things to do. Two things: one, help build their resume, and two, that they can actually write some great college essays over because they've actually had real life experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the lightning round. Here we're going to have our guest answer as many questions as possible in 30 seconds. Jamie, are you ready?
Bring it.
First question. Name the first word that comes to your mind.
Prepare.
If you could learn any language in a week, which would it be?
Mandarin.
Favorite song on your old school MySpace page?
Who remembers their MySpace page?
What career did you dream of having as a kid?
An orthopedic surgeon.
If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be?
Money.
Jamie, I want to give you the final word for today's show. Go ahead and share a word of encouragement or a scripture with the Warrior community.
Well, as I have been this last couple of weeks really focusing on the future, you asked me what the word that came to mind, and prepare has really been the word kind of that God has brought this year. That is, are you prepared for all the things that God has set before you? And are we really looking for opportunities around us? That a lot of times I think we get so focused on looking at ourselves that we miss the opportunities that God's put all the way around us. And so I just encourage everyone as you come into 2023, I want us to prepare for the positive, prepare for good intentions, and that whatever God is opening us up before us, that we would be able to not only just walk in it, but actually change the kingdom using it.
I want to thank our Director of Design and Innovation Center, Jamie Michalek, for being on the podcast today, along with Mr. Josh and Mr. Hayburn for their behind-the-scenes support of the show. If you have any questions or comments for the show, feel free to drop us a line at podcast@mylcs.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Warrior Way podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast services. Until next time, go Warriors.